Wagonodao, natumai mko fiti, mko poa popote mlipo na popote ambapo mnaitizama Celeb Corner KE mkiwa. Now, did you know there was once a time that the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Mama Rachel Ruto, divorced President William Ruto and ran away to Germany? Did you know that? Now, if you didn't know that, get down, sit, relax, and listen to the story. Now, truth be told, if one had to give an example of a couple that has had each other's back from grass to grace, then the marriage between President William Ruto and Rachel Ruto will be the perfect example. But as that has always been the case, is that the case? That they have always had each other's back and that there are no imperfections in this marriage? I say no. Like any other marriages of any normal human being, the most significant of them all was when it was leaked that Rachel Ruto had vacated their current home after an alleged disagreement or an alleged cheating allegation, which had led the then Deputy President William Ruto and Rachel Ruto's separation, where it was revealed that Rachel Ruto had left and vacated her current home and moved to Germany. Now let's speak about these in a detailed manner so that you will understand what I'm saying. In the history of the couple's marriage, a lot of different allegations have befallen President William Ruto over time. During the 2022 general elections, a lot of stories were told about Ruto, then as a DP, over how he used to beat his wife, which are claims and allegations that Ruto denied over time. Lakini kama jinsi ambavyo Waswahili wanasema, lisemwalo lipo na kaa lipo, lijiani laja. Are you getting the point? Which means whatever was speculated, although it was not proved beyond reasonable doubt, but there was some aspect of truth in it. Now, this story is for those that might have a contradicting opinion that Rachel never left her home and escaped to Germany while she was married to the then DP President William Ruto. Taking you back to before you all knew Ruto, the man who is now the President of the Republic of Kenya, even before he was married to Rachel Ruto. First, in the year 1989, while he was a university student at the University of Nairobi, the UON, Ruto had an entanglement with the former Cabinet Secretary of Land and Defense, Farida Karone, which led to the alleged birth of his firstborn son, Nick Ruto. Not only that, rumor has it that he also had another relationship that led to the birth of his child and daughter, the firstborn daughter, June Ruto, with another woman that is not known to the public. And this is before he wedded his current wife, Mama Rachel Ruto, in a church wedding at AIC in a wedding in 1991. Now, after their wedding in 1991, they stayed for 2 years before they had a child. But Ruto brought in his 2 kids, that is June Ruto and Rachel and Nick Ruto, so that Rachel would take care of them. And so Rachel, as the loving wife who had accepted a man that had already had 2 children, she took care of these kids until 1993, when they both were blessed with their firstborn child, Charlene Chelagat Ruto, in January 11th, 1993. Then Ruto was an evangelist with his wife as a teacher. But he had started gaining popularity within the circles of the then President Daniel Moi through the then just formed YK92, the Youth for KANU party that defended Moi's regime. Now fast forward to when Ruto became the Eldoret North MP. First he won the election in 1997. But fast forward from 1997 to year 2005, then he was still married to Rachel Ruto. In 2005, Ruto cheated, or is alleged to have cheated on his wife with a university student from the Moi University by the name of Priska Chemutai Bet. And both of them were together blessed with a daughter by the name of Abby Ruto. The daughter is now a teenage girl at the age of 19 years who is now a campus student after completing a high school education at Alliance Girls last year, which was the year 2023. Now, this alleged relationship between Ruto and Chemutai Bet from the year 2005, where their daughter was born in 2006, was exposed in the year 2017 while Ruto was then the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, which is an allegation that Ruto himself confessed to and promised Kenyans that he would offer his daughter the best life a father could offer to their daughter, and which he has done, because since then the wife, the baby mama Priska, who had moved to court to file a lawsuit against Ruto for neglecting his child, has never again been heard in public. She has been only sharing videos and clips of herself on TikTok, living a best life. Are you getting the point? Now, these are some of the issues that might have resulted to Mama Rachel Ruto vacating her home back in the year 2017, as it was alleged. Now, let's get down to the story. When I look at the story of Mama Rachel Ruto, I connect it closely to that of Lucy Kibaki. You know, Lucy Kibaki was that iron lady. Are you getting me? Remember when Moi Kibaki, as the President of the Republic of Kenya, had to call a press briefing to inform the people of the Republic of Kenya through the media that he only had one wife? Are you getting me? That is because Lucy Kibaki was a no-nonsense woman. Aliambia, mzee, it's either you go ahead and confess that I'm your only wife, ama nakuacha, ama hata nakuchafulia jina vibaya sana. And Kibaki had to do that. But you know, Ruto is that man who can't be controlled. Ruto is not a kafukusui. And when he went ahead to confess to the public that he had a daughter outside the well-lock, and that is in the year 2006, knowing that they had been married together with Rachel Ruto for so many years, how do you think somebody like Rachel took that story? And you know what? Rachel Ruto is just your typical mom, or your typical Kenyan lady or Kenyan wife who is ready to do everything to protect their family, but also things sometimes always gets out of hand, and they have to they will do something that will result to them protecting themselves other than them protecting their husbands, as we have always seen. Now, when we speak about this, you'll understand the point where I'm coming from. I spoke the connection between Kibaki and Ruto's marriage. Kibaki inaaminika alikuwa na watoto wengi sana nje ya ndoa. It is the same thing with President William Ruto. The current allegations, if you look at what Aoko has been publishing, you also have heard that Ruto and the current Cabinet Secretary of Defense, that is the lady who was given these posts, they have had an affair, or they were allegedly having an affair, and even Ruto confessed to the public that the lady was his girlfriend. Are you getting the point? That is Soipani Tuya, the CS Cabinet Secretary of Defense. Now, allow me to take you to when a certain story was published that led to an uproar on social media. And that story was in regards to an expose on whether Ruto was really beating his wife. Remember, Rachel has for so long been protecting the Ruto's legacy and the Ruto's family. But a certain publication by one blog by the name of the Kenyan Dreads, they published something that caught my attention. And that was in the year 2020. Rachel Ruto, a battered wife. And I shall read a few comments. One man by the name of Truman Capote in 2020 September said this. I heard it in the grapevine. So don't quote me back when Rachel Ruto ran a tours and travel company at Michelle Court's house, she would go to work with black eyes and bruises. At one time, she had a broken limb. At the time Ruto was a youth winger, he would be bringing women of all characters in the house, and you know what, connive with them. He is said to have countless children apart from the ones he brought to the wife to live with during political meetings. His wife was made to sit in the corner until late because she had to take orders for refreshments and not go to bed before the husband. As much as Kenyans are tired of Unye and even Raila, believe you me, running into the arms of Ruto is a classic case of running from the frying pan into the fire. Mungu atuweke tuone awas tiki tata than Moi if God forbid Ruto becomes president. What is it that you're seeing right now? Yeah, you know the emotional battalion on social media, and those of you on the comment section, you're always throwing tantrums along my way for doing what I do. But it's an open secret that you should realize. Now, another one here is Jarateng. It's an open secret, always whispered in hushed tones. She has been battered and bruised for long. One time, she made a mistake of mentioning about the ICC, the International Criminal Court, and she almost got killed that day. He is the devil reincarnated. That is Jara Tank. Those are not my words. And these are people back in the year 2020. Baresi says, ata weta unyoroshwa na asumbui. BBI si muhimu says, polygamy is a natural phenomenon. An African man who has no polygamy instinct is a lost man. Maybe even so Ruto being a jogoo hapo ni sawa kabisa. Where I don't support ni kupiga wife. Notice I said kupiga because a proper slap early in the morning is all that is needed and goes a long way to restore respect and maintain it for years. Women don't forget a good slap. Wewe mzee wewe. You go ahead and do that to your wife. Acha kutu advise sisi tufanye hivyo. You do that. Now, Finest Wine says, I find myself in a heated argument with my wife, then I walk away. Ali, who wears pants in that house, speaking for myself, I have been married for 15 years. I've never laid a hand on her, but we, as expected, often find ourselves in serious disagreement. She is the one that you usually backs down. She has a way of getting to me later on, and I realize, anyway, I was being unreasonable. And I get. So these are just some of the comments that were made in regards to what really happened between Ruto and his wife Rachel Ruto. Kumbuka, si maneno yangu, ni maneno ya watu kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Trying so hard to prove a point in regards to the alleged divorce that really happened between Rachel Ruto and William Ruto. Kumbuka, Rachel stood by Ruto for a very long time, even when Ruto was taken to ICC. Do you know, behind the curtains, and let me tell you, this is not something that you will go ahead and make noises about, because behind the curtains, a lot happens in the corridors of power. And people, Ruto, somebody like our president, has a lot of people behind the curtains that try to make sure any dirt that he did in the past should not come haunting him. Let's look at it even in the perception of the other presidents, even in the United States of America. Now, when you look at the president of the United States of America, you will see them as presidents that are perfect. But do you know, behind the curtains, a lot of them are said to have a head entanglement that if it's not for the circles that guarded them, their marriage, their presidency would have been ruined because of the said allegations that they had relationship out of the wedlock, and also that their wives were not certified in their said relationships. So it's the same case that we have in the country, but most of you. If you look at Madam Rachel Ruto closely, you will realize that most of the time Kenyans come on social media to fight for her because they realize hey, she comes out with a bruised face or maybe looking this and that. But I mean,